13. We're doing the podcast today. I'm going to talk a little bit about myself for the introduction. I'm computer tech in my 30s, based in Los Angeles, and we're getting it going here. First time. I'll take it away. Jay,
Yes. Okay.
introduce
So
yourself.
we're this is the first time we're doing this. Albie and I, we've always talked about a bunch of different things, and like I love talking with Albie. He's a good friend of mine. We met playing Gears of War. We've known each other for a while. I too am in my 30s. Some of you guys know me as Jay Stevenson Town. My name is Steven. I don't know what alias or name I'm going to use, when doing this, but then people currently know me on Twitch and Xbox as Donald Pump TV, like Donald Trump, but Donald Pump, like Pump Shotgun or Pumping Iron. Which I haven't been lifting a lot of weights lately, but so um, yeah. So we were talking about doing a podcast, and here we are. We just spent approximately 2.5 hours setting everything up, getting the audio right, getting the hardware and software right, and I think we're good on a very, very, very amateur, basic introduction level. So, yeah. So, what do you think, Albie?
Let's get into the first topic of discussion.
Okay. Well, so I mean, we could start now. We for this first one, we're we don't have anything written down. We're just kind of going off
You're
of
right. There's no script here.
we're going off our previous discussion and just talking about whatever. Um, so now I think we're going to be like aimed and geared toward talking about like world events, current events, um, what's going on, just talking about anything really, just hanging out, but also talking about topical things, locally and maybe globally, and just giving
Right.
opinions like every other asshole out there. So we got that, and we also play video games. So we're going to be talking about video games. I'm a Fortnite enthusiast
Yeah, hey,
personally.
we have opinions. If we have anything, we have opinions.
So
We're not old enough to not have opinions.
well, let me answer my
But
wife, who could have been knocking at any point in time. What woman?
it's all right.
Hold
Take care of
on.
it.
What?
So, so pretty much,
Yeah.
I think we talked about we want to talk about the
Love you. Drive
situation
safe.
that's going on in the world right now that is in everyone's mind. How could it not be? I think it comes from the top down, and it's system wide. System wide. So yeah, we I think I'm introducing. I see you coming back to the mic. We're talking. We're
Top
ultimately
down
gonna
and
be
system
not
wide.
using the we're we're not gonna be using. We don't want to call for because of the. We don't even want to say the Y word if you're following me, Jay.
Right, I
We
am.
don't want to say the C word and we don't want to say the Y word because they have automatic systems that detect that stuff. So I mean,
Right.
there's no, we don't want to do criticism on it.
Hmm.
That's my policy, like generally. I mean, not that I'm not against speaking it,
Right.
but yeah. So I mean, we don't even have an alternate name for the thing that
Right.
is hitting the world right now, which kind of sucks. Uh, I don't even know what to call it. Do you have any suggestions on what to call it, Jay?
Well, something maybe something that has the letter
Something
C
like
in
just
it.
innocuous, right? Well, we could think of some things that have the letter C
Candy.
that we would like to call
Okay,
it.
candy. And then V. What
Yeah,
could we use for
just call
V?
it.
Can
Uh,
or does it have to be a
I
V?
don't know.
Candy flavor?
Yeah, whatever.
Nah, I don't
It's
know.
fine.
It
It
doesn't
does,
matter.
it doesn't matter what you call it, but yeah. So the candy that's out there
Well, yeah, we'll call it
affecting the world.
can
So
we call Candy V for now.
Candy V, Candy V. So Candy V, it's out there and it's been affecting the world. Like, what do you? I think that here's one thing that I have to say is like I think we're gonna have pretty differing opinions based on our previous discussions. Um, so it's gonna be a little difficult, although we're not here to have easy discussions. We're gonna have hard discussions. Sometimes they'll be easy. We agree on a lot of stuff, but I think you know, when it comes to Candy V, I have unpopular opinions,
Likewise.
and uh, I think right now what we're seeing, I have to try to approach this the right way.
Sure.
What we're seeing is a lot of Americans are gathering together right now, uniting against a common enemy, which is very common in our history and the culture, and I appreciate that. I like that. I just think that we've had some failures at the leadership level. And I don't think that they have to do a perfect job, but I do think that they need to protect the people, you know, the citizens. So that's my introduction to the difficult discussion. Do you want to talk a little bit about it, Jay?
Well, I mean, you know, I'm on YouTube, like like a lot of people are, especially right now. Let me just,
So Jay, you're like all about seeing the real stuff, aren't you?
yeah. I mean, look, I'm.
Seeing what's happening, like seeing the actual, like the hospital, and seeing like
Oh, listen,
scenes of right.
I've watched it develop, everything develop over the past month on the level of being in the street. I did a couple live streams that you could just take a brief look at that were about a week or two ago, maybe longer or shorter. I don't know. I don't remember exactly. And you could see my interactions with people. But here's the thing, like, first off, what do we really know about it? I'm someone who's so
Well,
skeptical.
what source? What source are you going to go off of?
I mean,
Right? Is
yeah,
that a fair question?
of course. I mean, right? Okay,
Okay.
what source? Um,
So, as an American citizen, do we just take what our government tells us as fact?
I don't, because they've been caught in many lies over the years, and
Uh-oh.
everyone's been
They
caught in a
have,
lie.
haven't they?
Yeah, they have.
So we can't be so naive.
Right. I mean, I agree. We can't be naive. Um, but I just don't know where has it come from? Like, they're saying China. Like, do we really know where where it's come from, or what? Like, what do we know? What do we really know?
Well, if you look at the data about what's occurred, if you remember the history, you
Right.
remember that the large amount of well, I don't want to go too much in terms, but the large amount of cases that occurred, they first happened in China, and so just based on the science of the data, how this, as you can see, you've seen it over and over and over again. What a hotspot develops, as was the term in recent times, what they've been using the word hotspot, because they're saying if a hotspot develops, then they need to address it, right? So the whole idea is that there's a mathematical spread of candy.
Right.
What is it? Right.
Candy V.
So that is
Candy V.
Candy V. So Candy V, we believe that Candy V originated in China because it spread there the most first.
Right.
So just that's like
Says who
the
though?
core. Like you're not listening to any. Yeah. Okay. So get this. So here,
But where do
listen to this
flus
little
come from? I'm
tidbit and
sorry,
tell me
like,
what.
or where do sicknesses and viruses come from? They come
Well,
over from all over the
well,
world.
they do, and
Right.
we'll get to the sicknesses and the flus. Okay.
Right.
But let's focus on the
The Candy V.
this Candy V. So Candy V, kind of lost my train
I'm
there,
sorry. I'm sorry, man.
but that's okay. That's okay. So here's what I was gonna say. China, it's in China's best interest to not have a lot of cases so that it makes them look better, right? It makes them look like they have a handle on the situation,
Of course.
right? And it's gonna make them look like they're responsible and that they're not responsible for what has been happening in the world, okay? So it's in their best interest to have lower numbers. So the numbers that we've been getting from China over the months started out, there was a big, like, kind of like a slow drip, and then the floodgates opened when they could no longer ignore the facts of what was happening. So at some point they shifted into more realistic numbers, but in any case, the numbers that we saw, we can always say that they were under, um, they were like, giving us low or conservative figures, right? They're not giving
Sure.
us big numbers, they're giving us on the low side. But even on the low side, they had frightening numbers.
Well,
So
right.
we're gonna go off of their low figures and say, man, that stuff is really bad.
But
So
how do we know? And this is almost a rhetorical question, but how do we know, of course, what's true and what's not? And people are just so detailed. It's really hard to. There's so many factors like sicknesses and viruses. There's probably so many different things going around. But what gets me is, like, again, do we really know where it has come from? The second thing, it seems like such a versatile sickness. Like, it affects certain people that have this and that. It doesn't affect these type of people. But meanwhile, it seems to be so bad, and everyone's publicizing it like it's just overrunning the world. And I don't think that's the case.
let let's take a look at this and think about this. Basically, the U.S. government, most of China is not denying the fact that it came from China,
Right.
specifically, where, because I don't want to say certain words because of
I
our
got
platforms.
right.
We're in China. I don't have to tell you.
Right.
But
It's tempting to
China's
say
not
it, but I'm
denying that. The denial came from it came from like a diplomat or something that's not exactly the government, okay? It was official enough for us to get pissed off about it, but the denial is not coming from the main government, except now they're trying to change the script, trying to flip the script, and now try to deny it. Once their numbers went down to near zero, they're trying to say, oh, wait a minute, no, it wasn't us, and this never happened. They're trying to rewrite history right
Okay.
now. But
But
we already,
there
our minds are not going to get erased, especially not in the crisis, right?
no. But aren't they having don't I could be wrong about this, but I think that I've stumbled upon information not too long ago. Like, don't they like have serious control over their people? And uh,
Yes.
I mean, they've
They,
like poisoned their
they,
own people,
they,
haven't they? Like, been really
they've done things that were inappropriate, improper, and they've hurt their own citizens, and they've even, let's just use a cleaner word and say cleansed some of the people in the country.
right. I mean, isn't I mean, I hate to like sound insensitive or irrational or crazy, but you got to think, in my opinion, you got to think at like the possibilities, especially when you take things at its face value. Um, if you have people that be doing all sorts of crazy stuff like that, who's to know where where or when they draw the line? And
Yeah.
you know, I met this girl
Should I
once.
talk about?
I met this girl once from China, and they don't let her have fit the Facebook app on her phone. She showed it to me. Like, they're super controlling. So, but
Right.
don't they want, like, didn't maybe they
Right.
want, they're overpopulated as all heck, right? They have all sorts of
Right.
issues with
They
like
are.
garbage. They're not buying America's recycle. right now, I believe. I'm not sure how that works. We're recycling, but I think we're
They
just burning
have.
it and burying it. But
Mm,
so I
yeah.
mean, aren't they? Isn't it possible that they're trying to do some type of like um, population control, maybe, like how you just pretty much said? Now, there's that now, and just one more
Uh,
thing. Go ahead, go ahead. Let me listen.
yeah. If you think that they're trying to do that, you have to really think about it all the way through and
I have not.
thoroughly, because if you think about it more and more and more, you come to some conclusions. Like, remember that this thing it doesn't discriminate. And so it goes after the family members of the loved ones of the politicians, and even the politicians themselves are not immune. So the people in power, the generals, the police, the people that are being controlled to execute that, I mean, you would look at this more. There's so many things that you shouldn't really say on this
You
platform.
shouldn't, man. I
The
don't.
T word, the T word. You know the T word.
Nah, I can't think right.
Uh,
Tranny?
wow.
Is that it?
What occurred on 9/11? What occurred on 9/11?
Oh,
The T word.
oh,
Come on.
oh. You're like,
Okay, so
wow.
because that's the kind of thing that you're talking about.
Right,
The kind of thing that you're talking about is something that has been unleashed
right.
upon the world, and so then we get into a supervillain plot, right? And that kind of thing. It's unlikely that anybody in power would want to do that, because once you
You need the
release the
people.
genie, you can't put the genie back in the bottle, right?
Okay.
So this is not the kind of thing that and it's not like we know they don't have an antidote for this, because
Well, we don't know
it's
that.
based on
What?
no, we know that because it's based on the common cough, which the common cough doesn't have a cure, as you know, because it
Excellent
mutates too
point.
quickly.
Well, that was gonna be my next point. There's so many sicknesses. I mean, what? It just seems to me like if we like made a big deal and publicized every single death like we're doing now, we're like giving people these statistics and numbers about every single death that takes place. Like these are like they're giving us numbers. They're putting numbers on the internet. They're giving us numbers, but this is just like, who is it really all from the same exact sickness or virus? Is it really from the same exact place? Like, what do we
Um,
know? My point is, what do we know? We don't fucking know anything. And
uh,
let me tell you what I know. I know what I see when I'm out every day. Let me just tell you this. I'm going to let you say,
yeah,
share your
yeah,
thoughts.
yeah,
Number
yeah.
one, every single fast food and pizza joint's open. And I'm going to get to a point here.
Okay,
They're making you take out. You
sure.
can't dine in. It's it's fine. Let me hold on, take 1 second. What's up, Echo? Albie and I are just talking, man. Just sit down and chill out, listen if you want to talk or whatever. But every restaurant's open, all of them. GameStop open. This is essential businesses. Best Buy,
Yeah.
okay, but that's
Okay.
hyperbolic.
Uh-huh.
But you got Walmart, Winn Dixie, Publix, Aldi. You got you got everything. You got what else?
Groceries and such.
All the
Yes.
grocery stores, CVS, Walgreens, Home Depot, Lowe's. You got now when you think essential businesses. I'm naming off essential businesses, which arguably GameStop and Best Buy, but I know we need a way to stimulate our minds and have some fun inside. But now we're like, in my
Okay.
opinion, crossing into the territory of virtually every business being essential. I mean, I'm a plumber, electrician, HVAC, builders are obvious.
Eh,
Everything's essential. Where you get your
Yeah.
phone, we need to communicate. We need internet.
But
Like we need
okay.
it all.
Okay.
It's all essential at the end of the
I,
day.
I think that
But here's
people are getting a
let me
little
conclude.
stuck on that.
Hold on.
But I'll let you
Thank
finish.
you, thank you, thank you. I'm gonna try to be quick. Okay, so if everything's open, okay, you're not allowed. There's only so many people allowed to go in at a time. Okay, or it's only takeout or delivery, you're still walking next to people. You're still crossing paths with people. People are still working. And you go to these places, not everyone wears a mask. They got a mask hanging around their neck, but not everybody wears a mask. And the masks don't even do anything. I don't want to get too far off topic. We could go to the masks and the fucking gloves later, but I mean, if we're all interacting and mingling together, I mean, the people that are cooking the food, like, you know, and then you got people at home, the people that are sick. Okay, if you're sick, you're not allowed out. What are you? You're at home getting your family sick. What is everyone who's next to a sick person not going out? No, dude, people are going out and taking care of business. It's weird.
Yes.
It's fucking weird.
It's weird. It's the times that we're in right now.
Mm-hmm.
I think what I had to say on that subject is that yes, there are. Well, I think if you look at it another way, it kind of opens your mind. Okay, if you take a look at the essential business the other way, and say what are the things that they cut out? For example. Jesus, you can't go to the strip club, right?
Right.
The strip club is not essential. Are you going to tell me that that's essential now? So the whole thing is the obvious ones get cut out, right?
Bars and strip clubs.
Bars and strip clubs, and what else would be obvious that you don't need? I don't know. It's entertainment stuff, right? Like they straight up
dine-in restaurants.
I know that's the dine-in situation.
Movie theaters.
Yeah, because you mentioned restaurants,
They're
and
still
that's
doing
only
takeout.
half of the deal, right?
Right.
Movie theaters. How about movie theaters? We know that movie theaters are not essential. We know that they're gathering places,
Mm-hmm.
so they cut that out, and you're not seeing them try to argue that they're essential, are you? So what you're seeing is that it has eliminated the obvious and the like the ones that you can't easily argue for. So it has made a positive impact by doing that. Okay, so that's the other perspective if you look at it another way.
Right.
And then what was the other point that you were talking about how everybody's doing everything, going out and doing stuff?
People are still taking care of business. People still doing what they got to do.
So people are still going to the bank, right? But then I heard that the bank, first of all, small bank, if it's a small bank, they only let one customer in at a time because it's too small.
Right.
And you're not supposed to have gatherings of 10 or more people.
Right.
So that means that, yeah, they're going to the bank, but no, they're not doing the same experience. Yes, everyone's supposed to wear a face mask. They're supposed to wear gloves. They're supposed to use hand sanitizer.
Right.
They're not supposed to touch stuff they don't need to. They're supposed to wash their hands before, during, after. Maybe in between when you're talking to the teller, you can be washing your hands. Bring a little bowl and a soap and wash your hands in front of them.
Yeah.
Excuse me, I gotta wash my hands. Excuse me, I gotta wash.
I mean,
you gotta have a little comedy in life, or you're a dead man.
Well,
all right. So
I want to just say really quick.
That's
dude,
it.
Way before the Candy V and all this BS, I don't know where or how I particularly dropped on my head in such a perfect way that I've always been a neat freak.
Where are you going with this?
I know I've always been a neat freak, dude.
Okay.
I always,
right.
First off, I take my shoes off at the door and I make my wife and my kid wear socks. Number one. It sounds a little crazy, but when you don't wear shoes in your house, you're not bringing dirt into your house. You know, you think about the bottom of what your feet or your shoes you walk on all day. Think about it. For me, I don't bring shoes into the house.
That's pretty common.
I have friends and customers who are the same way. I don't touch my face. Right. I do my best not to let my 5-year-old do the same. My wife, like I'm teaching her, she's a little, she's not like as crazy as I am. So always washing her. I've always washed my hands when I get gas at a gas station. Always, I have rubber gloves because I'm in construction. I got rubber gloves. Or if the gas station, sometimes they have gloves, paper towel. You wrap it around the handle. Like when I go to reach for a handle, at any public place, dude, I'll use my fist or my wrist or something, and I'll just drag that shit open, and I'll catch it with my foot. I'll like prop it open fast enough with enough momentum to where it's still swinging open, and I'm not pushing it. I just put my foot in there and kick the door, like use my foot to open the door, something like that.
Right.
Use my elbow to hold it for my
Sure.
family when they go in. It's just little, little things like that. That
Just small,
right,
streamlined things.
right. That
Yeah,
and of
I do
course
that.
my favorite. If you're gonna call for sneeze, do a fucking dab, or put your shit in your shirt.
The old
When you're,
elbow technique, eh?
like call, there's you have options to not
You have
behave
stuff.
like you're
Yeah,
from
you
the
have
jungle,
options.
or some type of,
Yeah, we're not
you know,
born in a barn or
yeah. This
raised
is
by
America,
wolves or.
okay? But anywhere, all over the world, be considerate. Be considerate of people,
Yes, yes,
you know.
yes. All over the world, be considerate.
But
Because yeah,
and
we
it's
share the spaces, don't we?
right, exactly. We share the spaces, and we should be caring about each other. But so that's the thing. When you got the Candy V, you got the Candy V. We don't know where it came from. We don't know who's saying this and that. We don't. In my opinion, what do we know? We only know what we're told. We don't know anything. And to me, it's just some regular. If I tell you what, when Michael Jackson went to the hospital, bro, I knew he was done, dude. I knew it. I think right
Mm.
now the worst thing you could do, you go to the hospital, and I think they have a list on the wall. They got, it says Candy V, and the big list of symptoms. And if you have like any one or two or three, I don't know, whatever, they could have some rule.
Yeah.
If you have X amount of symptoms out of the whole list, they're going to classify, rightfully so, and they're not even lying. So according to them, you got it. Or maybe there's a very specific.
They suspect you. Of
Right.
having
So they might
They suspect
tell
you.
you have it when it's the same fucking flu you got a couple years back or something. So that's what I'm
That's
afraid
a
of.
bit of a precautionary overlap. Yes, that's
And I
gonna
agree.
happen.
But
Yes.
and then if you
No,
that
no
happens,
deny that.
then you got it in your mind, and then you're like, oh shit, I'm sick, and then you start
Right.
you ever
Okay.
like manifesting your destiny a little bit. If you're like, oh man, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna do it, I'm gonna work hard, and I'm gonna keep pushing, I'm gonna do it. Eventually,
Right.
you're probably gonna do it. If you're like, oh, I suck, I'm a failure, I'm never gonna do it, you never like, or man, I'm gonna get sick, man, I'm gonna get. You kind of gotta watch out, what you say. I think I don't know, how the universe works like that, but I think that if you put so much energy and focus and thought into something, you got to be careful. I think so. There's that factor to
All
it
right.
as well. What's up, Bitter?
Yeah. Yeah. See, Bitter raised a point about, and it's in my mind that, like, when previously they in the beginning, and which is not long ago. Okay, we're just talking about recently. When they go to the hospital, they didn't have sufficient testing or rapid testing. So and now it's about, the question is it reliable testing? Because well, I don't want to get hung up on things. They said there are about 40 different tests that they approved in a rapid fashion for checking to see if you have
Right.
you know, Candy V. But as you know that some of those tests are not going to be good. They give you false positives.
Right.
Or the other way around. Yeah, I guess they fail to detect when you do, right? So whatever. So they're not that reliable, because they just are scrambling to come up with the stuff, including tests.
Right.
And so, yeah, I think now if they can test you, I think they're gonna want to test you.
Right. And who knows?
So that is going to sort out. Yes.
If we know, in my opinion, we know not that much about it. And if we know not that much about it, how are we going to know what's effective testing? Like what you were saying, kind of.
Yeah.
Like what? How,
Yeah. Well, that is to figure out.
What do we really
Yes.
know? So, but there's so.
I mean, yeah, we're gonna work on that. We're gonna figure out the effective testing. That is ongoing,
Yeah.
right?
But
Yeah.
so I just don't know why everyone's so like gun ho on pointing to China. Like, did they claim responsibility for it? Have they? Could I research that right
remember,
now? Have they claimed
remember, I
responsibility?
mean, they don't want to claim responsibility, but they were doing what they were doing is they were not denying it at first.
Not denying.
Do you see how there's a big difference in them not denying it and letting the accusers and letting even the World Health say, oh, it came from there, it's this. Then all the other countries labeled it and they didn't deny it. But that's not taking ownership and that's not saying that they did it, is it? So, and then, like I said, now they're trying to begin the process of flipping the script and saying, oh no, it wasn't us. Well, it came from Italy. It came from the US.
I feel bad for
we
those
didn't even
people in
have
other
the
countries,
problem.
bro. All the shit they're going through.
Yeah, you do have to feel bad. The people are being used and abused, for sure.
Right. I mean, we could, I think,
But
go ahead, I'm sorry.
no, there are things. I mean, there's enough wiggle room where if they really wanted to get away from that situation, I think it's possible. There's humanitarian aid that we provide countries like that. There's and we do have to appreciate what we have here,
Bitter,
so we don't lose it. Right?
Bitter asks, what's The Apprentice say? Then he also said they don't test you after suspecting. I'm not following either questions.
The Apprentice, as in the TV show Star, right?
Ah, clever. What does Donald Trump say?
Got it.
What does Donald
Good.
Trump say?
Yeah.
Let's watch something.
On what particular subject?
What subject, Bitter?
Yeah, he's been quoted.
And I want to,
he has things.
I wanted to watch. I want to see, but at some point in time, Albie, I want to watch, and I want to get back to China a little bit with their wet markets and these animals and some stuff I've seen on the internet.
Oh,
I have a link on my favorite, one of my favorite, if not my favorite, food YouTubers, Travel Thirsty, that 5.2 million subscribers.
Okay.
They cook amazing food, but they have one video here, Indonesian food, fruit bat meat, and I just want to watch a little bit of that if we can. Not a lot.
You can get into that. We can watch it. I just want to say, like, we're gonna be I think we're gonna be wrapping up the subject for today, and we can revisit it. As any proper radio show would do. Because we can't. I think we should avoid being stuck on a subject. It's going to give us time to think about things, introduce new things to the discussion. A new X factor that we never thought about, right? So we don't want to get fixated on something.
But I mean,
we can definitely discuss it. I don't want you to think that we're being restrictive and you're not able to say everything you need to say.
I don't think that it's necessarily something that we need to revisit again unless something dramatic, drastic, or amazing happens.
Right.
Like, I don't want to necessarily talk about it again, but I like to say my piece and my thoughts and move forward from it. But in all fairness, we're about 33 minutes in.
Where
less than 33 minutes, excluding the introduction.
Okay. Well, I think it's fair to say that President Trump has
Did you read chat?
Changed over time.
Did you read chat?
Yeah, I was reading chat.
Oh, right, okay.
Yeah, I read. I'm addressing the chat right now.
19 derived from how it affects. Okay, go ahead.
So I think that the message has changed from the government, from the top down. Obviously you've seen the shift from there's no problem to now everything's kind of locked down tight, right? So there's been that slider has moved over, right?
Right.
And so I think the president has also moved the slider on in terms of quotes and what he said. He felt like we needed to tighten it up. You've seen that. And then now what he wants to do is he wants to move the slider to loose so that the economy can open up, right? So that's where we're at right now. He has his finger on it, and he's saying, "I want to do it."
Right.
So he wants to push that slider to get us to become more normalized, even though things are going to be a little different. But we're going to be fine.
Right.
And in terms of the effectiveness of the tests, the president says we have record number testing, and it implies that the tests work foolproof in a foolproof fashion, and they work and they get the job done. I
Everything
feel
with
like
Trump is
that
record number.
is, isn't it? I feel like that is a bit of his typical thing as of late, which is to put people's mind at ease, right?
Right.
He's trying to be like the guy who says don't worry about things, we have it under control and we're working on it, which is true, but when are we supposed to worry about and what are we supposed to worry about, if anything, at what point? So I think he really has, that's the thing, is like when you can't always talk about the glowing sugar-coated things, yes?
Right.
Um, and then what are Trump's thoughts on look at his PPE. He says I don't want to wear a mask, and that's up to each person if they want to wear one. Period.
Right. Let me. Can I watch this
So
3 minute and 23 second video from ABC News?
yeah,
It was made 1 month ago. President Donald Trump confirms the U.S. coronavirus related death. But I want to see what he has to say.
go for it,
Maybe.
man.
And the other thing, really quick, I just want to take 20 seconds. I'm going to take you with me. I just want to get some water,
Oh
and I'll be
boy.
right back.
Be care.
Right back. Right
Okay,
back. I can still hear you.
go
By the
for
way.
it.
Give me a second.
All right, we're good. I'm glad you can hear me because you got to be careful about the terms that you use. And you were reading the title and you said a certain something.
Okay.
Yes. Yeah. No. I know that I'm being broadcast, which I'm fine with. Um, but yeah, so I'll just fill in the you have an opportunity. We're gonna be watching a couple of videos. It looks like, so that'll be
Or
interesting.
just one at least, and if we
A
want to
bit of
watch
a
another, we could watch
or
another. It's up to you.
yeah.
All right,
Play
let's
on,
see.
player.
Play
Play on, player.
on, player.
You gotta have fun with it, or what? What's the
There
point?
is no point if you're not having fun.
At this
Ah.
moment,
Let's
22
listen.
patients in the United States currently
All right, listen close.
that have
Listen carefully.
coronavirus. Unfortunately, one person passed away overnight. She was a wonderful woman, a medically high-risk patient in her late 50s. 4 others are very ill. Thankfully, 15 are either recovered fully or they're well on their way to recovery. And in all cases, they've been let go in their home. Additional cases in the United States are likely, but healthy individuals should be able to fully recover. And I think that will be a statement that we can make with great surety now that we've gotten familiar with this problem. Should be able to recover should they contract the virus. So healthy people, if you're healthy, will probably go through a process and you'll be fine. And I'd like to just ask, and
For the record, thus far, I don't think there's anything wrong with anything he said. One thing I could appreciate that he's doing is using probablys and stuff like that because he doesn't know. But he's trying to be optimistic and positive.
caution that the media, we would respectfully ask the media and politicians and everybody else involved not to incite panic. There's no reason to panic at all. This is something that is being handled professionally.
From the moment that this country learned of the spread of the coronavirus, President Donald Trump took decisive action, established the White House Coronavirus Task Force, and as the President just described, the President took unprecedented action to suspend all travel into the United States from China. Simply had never been done before by any previous administration. And it is among the reasons why the threat to Americans of coronavirus remains low, despite today's tragic news from Washington State. Task Force met this morning. and brought the president a range of options. And at his direction, we'll be doing the following. First, the president authorized action today to add additional travel restrictions on Iran. We will be using Section 212F, banning travel from Iran. Iran is also already under a travel ban, but we are expanding existing travel restrictions to any foreign national who visited Iran within the last 14 days. In addition to moving Iran, we are going to increase to the highest level of advisory, which is level 4, advising Americans do not travel to specific regions in Italy and South Korea. Let me say again, the President today has authorized the State Department to increase the travel advisory for Americans to level 4. We are urging Americans to not travel to the areas in Italy, areas in South Korea that are most affected by the coronavirus.
I mean, that sounds like all good stuff to me. I didn't hear him say anything bad. All right, let's see. Coronavirus Task Force holds briefing. I want some old Task Force stuff, though, Bitter. I want to see what the OG stuff is about. Streamed one day. It's all recent. Is this a recent thing?
Okay. There's been,
What the Task
there's
Force?
pretty much been daily. Yeah. Huh. I may have to just double check that.
I don't know if you were watching the video, Albie, but
Yes, I was.
Everything they said wasn't that bad. I didn't hear them say anything bad. I really didn't.
Oh. I think they're talking about what happened to me. I think they're talking about the reopening the economy task force.
Oh,
Because
okay.
I heard about
Task
that
force
they were going to
holds-
have a group of people. Isn't that what
I wanna hear
isn't
what's-
that what's being referred to?
I'm not sure because Bitter just asked.
Why
Are
did
you
he
really
appoint?
doing Fox News? I don't. Am I doing Fox News, Bitter? I don't know. Why did he appoint
Is there
a
a
task
Fox
force?
giving you
I don't know,
news
but I
right
was
now? I
literally
don't
just
know.
waiting for you to stop talking so I could say I want to find CNN and see what they have to say. Are we watching Fox News, Bitter? I'm trying to find. I'm scrolling around trying to find CNN, but is this what we were just watching here? This is Time. Wait, yeah. Wait. What is
No,
this?
I'm just,
Oh, this is live.
I just happen to be a Fox giving the news, but I don't know if that's what was
Oh.
being referred to.
Oh, maybe. The first one was ABC News. Bitter's probably talking about your Fox.
I don't know if he is or not,
I think he is. Bitter's witty.
but I thought it was. I found it quite amusing.
He says that we really do. What did he appoint a COVID-19? Why did he?
Ah! Don't say that word.
Why did he appoint a Candy V task force? Okay, why did he appoint a Candy V task force? Let's see.
Okay, so I think what Bitter is getting to is the difference between what is being said and what actions are being taken, right? Because you're naturally seeing a divergence where, yes, Trump on the one hand says, stay calm, everything's fine, nothing to worry about. And on the other hand, he's tightening things up and assigning a task force to solve a problem.
What is
So,
that,
you can
though?
see there's
Like a
two
group of
directions.
people that want to solve the problem?
Remember, like there were the doctors, and who else was he bringing on? But pretty much he's had the lady and the man, Fauci.
There's something about
have
that
been
Fauci
the
guy. Like,
doctors.
who the fuck? What's a Fauci? What is this Fauci guy?
Be diplomatic,
who is
man.
he?
Be diplomatic.
No, I'm just asking, who is
I
he?
looked him up before. I've looked him up. He's been
What's his
around a
name?
long time, and he has Dr. Fauci.
That's it? He doesn't?
Anthony Fauci.
Okay, so he's Italian.
Anthony Fauci. He's an Italian, okay? He's good blood, all right?
Well, we don't know
He
that.
was,
Okay, what is the NIA? NIAID.gov. All right, he's
Yeah, I looked it up
79.
before.
President and
National Institute
spouses.
of what is it? National
Cause
Institute of
emerging
what?
rapidly evolving situation. Is it really though? National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. Anthony
There
S.
you go.
Fauci,
There you
MD,
go.
the national whatever. He's the director of the National Institute of Allergy and Infectious Diseases. He was appointed director in 1984. He oversees an extensive research portfolio of basic and applied research to prevent, diagnose, and treat established infections such as HIV, AIDS, respiratory infections, diarrhea, tuberculosis, malaria, emerging diseases, Ebola, Zika. NIAID also supports research on transplantation and immune-related illness, including autoimmune disorder, asthma, and allergies. The NIAID budget for fiscal year 2020 is estimated 5.9 billion. Dr. Fauci has advised 6 presidents on HIV/AIDS and many other domestic and global
Whoa.
health issues. He was one of the principal architects of the
Yeah.
president's emergency plan for AIDS relief, PEPFAR, a program that has saved millions of lives throughout the developing world. Well, he sounds like a good guy.
Yeah. He's established
He's-
and he's been vouched for. I mean, think about this. He's the guy that President Trump brought into the spotlight. He could have brought anybody.
Then why is he saying fire
including
him
you
now?
or
I heard
I.
there's a hashtag or something, fire Fauci or some
Well,
stupid
it's
shit
not
like
that he hasn't said those words yet, or maybe not, but what this start well, I'm gonna come with the story and the facts and what's been going on. He retweeted somebody else who had criticism and put that in a hashtag on Twitter.
Mhm.
So people were thinking, now, what is President Trump's stance on things that he's retweeted in the past? What he said was, I didn't write that tweet.
What
So
tweet?
he takes no ownership. I'm telling you that anything that he retweets, he takes no ownership over the content of it.
Really?
He's only putting it in front of your eyes.
Which tweet? We
So
should know one, like if because apparently he does it a lot. So
The latest.
yeah, I would like to look up
He
one that
does
he
it pretty
denied.
often, or somewhat often.
I just want to see what he says that he
He-
denies. Like, man, I wish
Yeah.
my Twitter was. I wish
Uh,
Twitter didn't fucking ban me, bro. Come on.
Right. Luckily, you have a friend who has Twitter.
Thanks.
It's active. Let's take a look at deal here.
Let's see if I could log
Let's see.
in.
Let's see. What does he retweet? He retweets all kinds of things, but I know
Right.
you want to know one.
I just want to see specifically. I mean, I
Denied.
think it's okay for me to.
specifically. Yeah, I can't remember the one that he was like, "Oh no, I didn't write that." That was a while back. It's been a long, long time. But I'm pretty sure he doesn't. He has not yet, as I understand it, he has not yet formed an opinion on keeping or getting rid of Anthony Fauci. So, but what he does is he listens to the public word, right? Whatever
Okay.
people are thinking. So if people are saying and thinking, oh, well, Dr. Fauci needs to go, then first thing he does is introduce that idea, which he's done with his retweet.
What
So we'll see if it escalates.
which should I pick if you don't mind me? I just want to read one thing about this Candy V task force. I'm sorry. There's the
We are
Daily
so
Beast.
screwed.
Oh, I mean, we don't mean any harm. The Daily Beast,
It doesn't matter.
Wikipedia. Well, if people are that,
No, it's not about people. It's the algorithms, brother. We're just not going to be put in front of people's eyes. You got to think.
that's crazy.
If you want this to be out there,
I gotta
they're going to
practice.
hold us back.
I gotta practice.
It's going to be the big C
Should I check
word.
Wikipedia?
Another word. For what?
The White House Candy V task force.
Sure.
All right, let me.
Is it? It should be on Wikipedia.
Yeah, it is. Let me see.
Check it out.
Because The Apprentice fires people.
It's something that he
Okay.
is known
The
for,
White
right?
House Candy V Task Force. The White House Task Force, United Department Task Force that coordinates and oversees the administration efforts to monitor, prevent, contain, and mitigate the spread of Candy V. The task force was established on January 29th. On February, Vice President Pence was named the chair. The task force and Deborah Birx was named the response coordinator. Other members have been added since the initial appointments. Background: the first known case, blah 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 blah. In March, The Hill reported. So what's Bitters? Let me see what Bitter said now. Bitter said, "Why did he appoint the task force? I don't know why. Let me. Do you know why, Albie?
Yeah. Why did he create or appoint to the task force?
A task force. Why was a task force created?
Well, remember, like I was referring to the latest happenings, which was he created,
Oh, here's
supposedly he created a task force
the
for
daily
the economy, the economic recovery.
for the recovery of the economy. He made a task force.
They're
What's their
Yeah,
job,
he
though? The
wants-
Daily Beast says President Trump has launched a task force to monitor and prevent the spread of Candy V that has claimed more than 170
Yeah.
lives in China, multiple countries. White House will be.
That's the original. There was an original task force. Like I said, it included the doctors. Obviously, he appointed his VP as the head of the task force. Do you remember that?
Yes.
That was the initial task force. And then the secondary thing came as of late, maybe a week ago, where he said, I need to consult the doctors and the
What?
business professionals and the logistics people and how to open and when to
Let-
open the economy.
let me read
So
this.
yeah.
I'm sorry, from
Yeah.
from NPR, because I know NPR, WLRN does not like Donald Trump. So let me read what they have to say. This is March 31st, 2020. Candy V Task Force details sobering data behind its extended guidelines. Updates. America must brace for 100,000 or more people to die in the coming months in the Candy V pandemic. The White House response team warned Tuesday.
Be diplomatic.
As sobering, thank you, a number as that is, we should be prepared for it, said Dr. Anthony Fauci, a top immunologist helping to steer White House policy on disaster. No one is denying the fact that we're going through a very difficult time right now. The White House Corona beer. Can we say Corona beer?
No, you cannot
That's
say the C word.
stupid.
That's the system
Detailed the
does not
yeah,
differentiate.
right. It's just a bunch of
You
robots.
cannot
Dude.
enjoy
Look, the
your
robots are already
candy
fucking
bee
us
on
up.
the beach with a lime. It doesn't work.
Task Force detailed the modeling and other data that compelled President Trump to extend virus countermeasures deeper into the spring. Fauci and another top physician, Deborah Birx, renewed their pleas Americans to observe social distancing and other precautions to try to depress the rate. This is not the number we need to accept. We could influence this to a varying degree, Fauci said. Trump, however, suggested that he has been told that 100,000 could be a floor and not a ceiling. They are sobering, the president said of the estimates. When you see 100,000 people, and that's a minimum number, and they say it's unlikely we'll be able to attain that, think of what would happen if we didn't do anything. Our days lay ahead. The president had earlier mentioned full church pews Easter Sunday. Acknowledged Sunday federal guidelines, social distancing, mitigation measures would need to remain in place through April 30th. It's life and death, frankly, Trump. It's a matter of life and death. Every blah blah blah. Blue Mountains, and social distancing and other protocols cause the estimate curve in shorter height, which they are so essential. But also warn the stars.
So,
we hope it's enough. Okay,
may,
they're just.
may I say something?
Of course, I'm done. Go ahead.
So like I'm just addressing the chat. Okay, well I
Can I
guess
read the chat?
we can derive a question. You can read the chat. You want to read the chat out loud?
Yes. Oh,
Okay,
and
go for it.
Bitter says we're rapid. Bitter thread says we're rapidly developing a vaccine. Trump said the vaccine is coming along well, and in speaking to the doctors, we think this is something that we can develop fairly rapidly. Why do we need a vaccine? That's a good question, Bitter.
Um,
Why do we need a vaccine? Albie, could you? Why do we need a vaccine?
well, medically speaking, the effects of Candy V are really bad on specifically the respiratory system. So the solution, or the solution that we don't want to pursue if we don't have to, is to just let everybody just get it naturally, because we're going to have some pretty negative effects by doing that. My understanding, medically speaking, there are after effects. If you recover from it, it's not just like you're back to normal.
Mm-hmm.
Some things are regenerate. You can regenerate or you can heal in our terms, but other things may not heal. If you could think about that and the implications of that. So why do we need the vaccine? So that we can distribute the vaccine, and just like we've
Vaccine for
gotten
what
rid of
though?
a lot of.
Is there really only one strand of this specific virus? Is there
Let
only
me
a
let me
isn't
address
it a
that.
vaccine that's probably for multiple things?
Let me address that question. When you come up with a vaccine, it's for one strain. Isn't it better to get one of the major strains out than not?
What do you mean by out? Do you mean treat like being having the ability to be treated?
What? Well, let's go back to the vaccines. With vaccines, we know that we don't get the diseases that they vaccinate the kids for these days,
Say
right?
that again, please.
All the things. What do they have? So the things that kids are vaccinated for these days, what can you name some of them? Like mumps or polio or something like that, right? Those things, we don't get those things, right?
I do. Do we?
No, we don't. And the reason why we don't see that in the population is because the vaccines are working, and we've implemented those vaccines for
Are
generations.
measles and mumps
So the
still
same
even a
idea
thing?
goes. Yes, they are a thing still.
Okay.
Not everyone gets vaccinated, and in some rare cases, the vaccination doesn't work. It's rare. It's rare. Okay, so that kind of addresses that question, doesn't it? Um, and then we had another question.
I guess we.
What does
I guess
rapidly
we
mean?
need the vaccine for the
Can,
coronavirus. Bitter. And Bitter asked, "What does rapidly mean?" So I
right.
looked it up on
Well,
dictionary.com
you
and
said it
posted the
again,
definition.
Jay. You said it again.
Thank you.
You said it
So
again.
wait, what did I say? Rapidly?
Candy V, but the other way.
Man, I'm so used to reading like
You gotta
out
be
loud.
sharp, man. You gotta
Man,
be
okay.
sharp. So anyway, it's gonna be your training now.
I'm
It's
working on
training
it.
day. So yeah, about the whole thing about the rapid part, I'm not gonna try to figure out like what people were thinking of when they were saying like what the meaning of that word is. I'm just gonna tell you what's happening and what's out there. A lot of this stuff I've posted on my Twitter, and we're gonna presumably have links to my social media when we wrap up or whatever. But you can find it in my Twitter.
Definitely.
Essentially, I'm talking about the vaccinations that are actually already past the first stages of being developed. And
But
one of the most promising ones, this is way too much for me to talk about in a small span, but, and we'll get to your question too, but they essentially took a deactivated cold virus and took some of the spikes from Candy V, put it together, and they are rapidly developing a vaccine from that. which is very promising. Do you have a question, Jay?
Bitter says 60 strands. Does he mean there's 60 strands for
He's-
Candy V?
I think that no one knows how many there are, right?
I don't know. He said 60 strands. 60 strands of what?